This one right here is a sub 1,000 bucks, all AMD gaming PC, which currently is the best value for the mid-range you can buy. This thing allows you to play at 1440p with a 240Hz monitor in competitive multiplayer titles and also enjoy single-player titles with high details all at the same time. Now there is of course gonna be someone who dislikes the value for money of the GPU I chose, the RX 9070. However, there always is, and I think you should definitely consider the comparison between this and a 5070 because the street price of the 9070 is not quite what I would like it to be. They have raised it since launch, which opened all the discussion for the fake MSRP, unfortunately. I find some models can still be found for the right price, and that was the case with this Steel Legend ASRock model. Now this one I reviewed separately on the channel. It's a great card, very quiet, and it looks amazing if you like RGB, but if you don't like it, you can just turn it off with a simple button on the card itself. It is an overclocked model, but you do not pay above MSRP for the fact that it's overclocked. You're paying a bit more because it's white, but we also went in white for the case and cooler, so I think it's worth it. Now, what did I pair an RX 9070 with? Well, just to confuse the naming scheme and to confuse my viewers, I got a Ryzen 7 9700X on a regular B650 motherboard because yes, you can still save a lot of money by buying a B650, but if you're really on a strict budget, I recommend you try out some of the Chinese motherboards from less reputable brands, which I've tried out on the channel, because this one is an Asus model, but it's a bit overpriced. It's a very good motherboard, don't get me wrong, but definitely overpriced. And some of those Airing Qingyu motherboards, they are so good and they also look better than this. So I don't see why you should not buy one of those. So if you want to save some extra budget, check those out. The reviews are on my channel. Where I did save some budget is in the RAM. So I've gotten some Kingbank Sharp Blade ARGB 32GB of 6000 MHz low latency RAM. And that's because DDR5 has come down in price a lot. You can now buy 32GB for under 100 bucks easily. And these ones you can buy from AliExpress. If you use coupons, you can get them for an insanely good price. For the SSD though, going with a reputable brand is always better because it ensures your data is safe, and also Kingston makes this KC3000, which is just so cheap. I've been using it in every single one of my builds, so that's a very good buy as well. And now let's get on to the cooler. So now this Montech HyperFlow 240, they say best value cooler right when you go and open it. Well, first of all, it looks absolutely gorgeous, okay? And it comes pre-mounted in the box, and it's one of the quickest ever all-in-ones I've ever installed. Literally, you just take off the Intel brackets, slide on the AMD bracket, and you utilize the hooks which are on the motherboard like a stock cooler. So it takes a lot less without compromising the effectiveness of the mount. They also give you some extra paste and a spreading tool inside the box. You get compatibility for all of AMD and Intel sockets, and all the cables are daisy chainable. So in the end, you just need one RGB output on your motherboard, of course the fan output and the pump output. So it's very good, very easy, takes very little to install. The only critique would be that the fans themselves have a proprietary connector, but for the price this thing comes at, it's fine. This thing is around 80 bucks, current street price where I live, which makes it a very strong contender because the block looks gorgeous and you're getting something from a reputable brand instead of a Chinese option, which I like sometimes, I dislike some other times. For example, in all-in-ones, I haven't had the best experience with cheaper options, unfortunately. So this, if you don't want LCD screens and other aesthetic stuff, I think is some of the best value for money out there. Comparable to the Arctic Liquid Freezer 3, for sure. The performance is great, even under full load with the power limit unlocked and the EXPO enabled on the CPU, we maximum hit 80 degrees. If you undervolt it, like I show on the channel, of course we have guides for everything, also if you want to undervolt your GPU, we are staying in the 70s, which is great. Now this graphics card actually draws quite a bit of power, around 300 watts, so to stay safe you want around a 750 watts power supply. You can get away with a 650, but I would get a 750, so I went with Deepcool with a PL750D. It's a pretty good power supply, it's non-modular, but with sleeved cables, and actually makes it quicker for me to do the install. And I find if you have a spacious case, it's not a big of a problem to have to tuck away some cables. We can live with it. And in this case, we went with the Enermax K8 White. Now this is a case which I've already had on the channel in the black version, but the white one is a lot better in my opinion. I like the black, but the white really makes the design pop because this thing has some tempered glass, yes on the side, yes on the front, but also a little slide of it on the back. and it's what makes it unique. It's a standard tower case, so it's not an aquarium-like, and it's not the most ventilated option, but it comes at a very cheap price of under 100 bucks. It comes with 3 pre-included ARGB fans. It has an included fan controller with RGB headers free as well, and it does a very good job at cooling the components inside of it. So with that said, this is the build. Again, the performance numbers are crazy, everything is being kept cool, and you can play maxed out at Apex Legends 300 FPS, around 240 on Warzone with competitive settings, and I think it's a very balanced mid-range PC. And nowadays you can put it together for under 1,000 bucks if you build it yourself and buy the right components. And up until a few years ago, a build like this would have probably been around 2.5 grand. So it's nice to see the PC gaming market actually going in the right direction. And as usual, I want to hear what you guys think about this build, if you would have changed anything or if you like it just the way it is. And if you would have changed anything, let me know down in the comments. And if I did not bore you too much, I hope to see you guys again in another video. If you watched this far, maybe drop a like and subscribe. Bye bye.